Much love and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Woman of the Womb, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 reasons why we decided to leave the United States and move our family to Thailand. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be notified when we drop new videos. Before we continue this video, I just want to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, patreon.com. Make sure you click the link below in the description, patreon.com/themeditationfamily, to subscribe to our Patreon, which allows us to continue sharing awesome content, documenting our journey of our transition, living in a new country. Help us reach our goal of 300 subscribers, which is going to allow us to continue to explore, get our Thai massage certification, as well as take language courses while we are here in Thailand. So make sure you click that button and subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/themeditationfamily. Patreon is a platform for creators. So if you are a creator as well, make sure you go ahead and sign up, create your account today. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get back into this video. Living outside of the US is actually something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, probably since I was about 16, 17, 18 years old. So this has honestly been a long time coming. Now, I've shared this story many times before, but back in 2018, we actually converted a school bus into a tiny home and mobile wellness center. This is back when we only had one of our babies, and we decided back then, we knew even before we had gotten pregnant, that we wanted to homeschool, that we wanted to have our own business, that we wanted to have that time, location, and financial freedom. So we started to implement the groundwork and the foundation for this move many years ago. Through our experience with the bus, being able to rebuild ourselves financially, clean up our credit, accomplish the goals that we really wanted to accomplish, we became very successful in our family business. And at that time, we had just had our second child, and we decided that, hey, we're doing very well for ourselves. We've kind of gotten things back in order. Maybe we should try this again. So, we went and we got an apartment. We were there for a number of years. Of course, business continued to grow, success continued to flow, and then we moved into a house. And now by that time, some years had gone by, we had our third child, and we realized that even though we were becoming more successful, making more money, and accomplishing all of these goals and dreams and the things that we thought we desired to have, we didn't really have time anymore for ourselves, for our children, for homeschooling in the way that we wanted to. And it really started to become about working in order to maintain all of the things that we had built up. So it got to a point where we were just like, okay, we cannot continue to do this anymore, and something has got to change. And that is when we revisited the idea of moving to another country, and we really started to take that idea more seriously and form concrete plans to make it happen. And although there are a number of different reasons why we decided to make this transition from the US to Thailand, I'm gonna do my best to condense them down to 10. This is going to be in no specific order, but some of our primary reasons for wanting to move. All right, so here we go. Reason number one is obviously the cost of living. Like I said before, even though our family business was becoming very successful, it started to get to a point where we were literally just paying to live and survive. Rent, bills, utilities. It started to feel like we didn't really have a life outside of working and maintaining all of the things. And after living minimalistically, especially in our school bus, we really didn't have that type of attachment to our things and our material possessions in a way where it was difficult to kind of let most of them go in order to make this transition. And right before we moved out here, we actually went on a 40-day, 40-night road trip across the United States, which you can check out that video. I'm gonna link it right here so that you can see what that experience is like. But we went on that road trip because we knew that we wanted to relocate from the city that we were in. So we thought, hey, let's go out, let's see what it's like. Let's see if maybe we would like to live in a different state and what that would be like. But during our travels, every place that we went to was really having the same problem. And we started to see that what we knew back in 2018 when we converted our school bus, as far as, the shift that was going to happen with housing, people not being able to afford it, that issue was completely exacerbated. And we found so many people living in their cars, rents that had gone up in all of these different areas to where people were being priced out. And it was truly an epidemic that was not just specific to where we live, but it was obviously a widespread issue. So by the time we got done with that trip, we realized that that whole idea of potentially just moving to a different city was not really going to work for us. Reason number 2 is safety. I'm not even gonna go super in depth with all of the safety issues that are prevalent in the US right now, from politics to racial issues. We lived in what is considered to be a more family-friendly area, and there were so many different issues with crime and things of that nature that we did not feel comfortable with the environment that our children were being raised in. And our children are a number 1 priority for us. So that was a really big factor in moving out of the US. Reason number 3 is weather and climate. I was born and raised in New England, so the snow, the freezing cold, all of that, we do not get along at all. We love to be outside, we love to be in nature, so winter times where we were cooped up in the house just didn't really work for us at all. Not only that, but we wanted to be somewhere where we could be close to the water, close to the ocean, and moving to California or Florida was just not something that we wanted to do, which in the US, those are kind of like the primary places where you would have to be if you want access to that type of weather and to the beach. Also, you know, it just fits my style being in a tropical place. I want to be somewhere where I can dress comfortably. I don't really want to have to wear like jeans and sweaters and big coats and all of that other stuff. And I know that seems super frivolous, or it might seem super frivolous to some people, but that was actually really important to me. So moving somewhere where the climate is warm and sunny all year round was a big necessity. And then not only that, but the type of foods you have access to when you are in the tropics was another big one, which kind of fits with weather and climate, but also leads into reason number 4. And that, of course, is access to better foods, to healthier foods. I cannot tell you the number of times I went grocery shopping and bought things like papaya or even watermelon. Like, it's almost impossible to find seeded watermelon anymore. I would get papayas and open them up and they would be like completely barren. And we would go to even the farmers markets and we would get fruits and they'd be completely spoiled. And so it was very frustrating, not only the fact that food was becoming increasingly more expensive, but that the type of food or the quality of the food that we were buying was just not up to par. Not only that, but the food deserts and scarcity of fresh foods was a huge issue for us, and another reason why we decided to move outside of the US. Reason number 5, education and schooling for our children. Even though we homeschool, we do still want our children to have the opportunity to be around other kids their age, to have the experience of going to a traditional school, but there was absolutely no way that we were going to put our children in the American public school system. Every time we considered the idea, even just a little bit, there would be some crazy news article, some sort of going on within the school system that reminded us of our reasons for not wanting to put them in the school system in the first place. And so while we are here, and even if we decide to go to another country, we feel that it is very beneficial to them, not only for the schooling aspect, but to gain a deeper understanding and appreciation of the culture and the places that they're going to be living. They'll also be able to learn the local language of the school that they're going to be attending, which is something that is really important to me, especially because when I was younger, I had the opportunity of doing the French immersion program at my school, and I think that it is really amazing to teach your children a new language while they're young. I think it gives them opportunities as they get older, not just in terms of like business or career or whatever, but just being able to communicate with different people. And I think there's also that stereotype that Americans are very self-centered in that way, like we only learn to speak English and we expect everyone to kind of convert to our way of being. We expect everyone else to learn English, and we're kind of lazy in that aspect. And I think that's like the general consensus. So I feel that it is very important for our children to be able to develop those other skills, which also leads me into point number 6, and that is just the opportunity to experience other cultures, beliefs, and way of living in general. Even though both my husband and I were raised in the US, we had the opportunity to move around a little bit. We lived in different states, we've traveled to different areas of the US, and we have always said that we don't want our children to have that localized mindset. There's no limit to what you're able to do, what you're able to accomplish, what you're able to see or experience just because of your background or where you came from. Number 7 would be overall mental and emotional health. You know, for me, I feel like I just got to the point where even though we were growing in our family business, we were becoming a lot more successful, I felt like a lot of the things that I was doing just wasn't in alignment with what I wanted for my life deep down. I felt like I was running on this automatic subconscious programming of what I felt like I needed to be doing, what I felt like I needed to accomplish by certain ages, and just like all of these expectations that I kind of put on myself based on what I thought other people expected of me. And I felt like we had just gotten so far removed from our time living in the bus, and when life was a lot simpler and we were able to travel and we were able to explore, and it just really became about like work, fulfilling orders, not having the time to really tend to ourselves and our emotional and mental and spiritual well-being. Not only that, but like the constant stress of bills and money. It was like, I do not want my life to always be about money. Like, yes, I know that you have to work in order to live and to maintain, but there's more to life than that. You should be able to sit down and breathe and catch your breath and relax and not always feel like you have to be in this constant rat race of keeping up. And so that was another reason why we decided to leave the US. Reason number 8. And this one is more so just because of the adventurous spirit I think that we both have, but definitely me, myself. I'm very grateful for the fact that my family is very diverse. They live in all different parts of the US, but also one side of my family is originally from Honduras. So I had the opportunity to travel back home to Honduras when I was 8 years old. And I just remember like the minute I stepped off of that plane, the feeling that I felt was like, oh my gosh, this is just so amazing. I feel right at home. Like I've always had the travel bug as a kid. I got to travel back and forth like with my grandparents. So when I'm in a place for too long, it's just like, oh my God, okay, I gotta go. I gotta do something else. I need a new atmosphere. I need a new scenery. Like, it's just something that that I need to keep me going, to keep me thriving. And I didn't want the fact that, okay, we have children, we have a family now, so we can't do that anymore. You know, I feel like it's very important for others to see that as well. Like, even if you have children, even if you're married or whatever, you can still continue to do the things that you love. And I know that my life was just very enriched by the opportunity to go and visit other places, to learn from other cultures, to see that there's a different way of doing things. It makes you more appreciative. It makes you more open-minded. So yeah, that was a big reason for me as well. Reason number 9, not only for the educational benefits of our children, but also for my husband and I as well. With our work as healers, we both wanted to be able to further our studies and our knowledge and skills. And we've always wanted to get our Thai massage certification. And we figured, why not come to the actual place where it originated? So while we're here, we're going to be getting our Thai massage certification, as well as enrolling in Thai language courses so that we can continue to learn more about the language and about the culture while we're here. And that brings me to reason number 10, which is honestly, we just did not fit in with the culture, especially now from music culture, television culture. I think that it has a lot of influence on us as a collective, but especially as Black Americans. And that is not something that I wanted for our daughters, for our son, and something that we didn't really resonate with either, you know, from the culture, beliefs, religion, all of those things. I think we are a lot more open-minded in that regard. And so we wanted to be able to be in spaces that resonated more with our energy, that allowed us to continue our studies, continued our evolution, our spiritual evolution as well. And I don't think that's something that would have been possible had we stayed. So altogether, in no particular order, those are 10 of the reasons why we decided to relocate out of the US. And we will continue to share our journey with you all. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/themeditationfamily, where we will be sharing more exclusive content on how we actually made this move, things like our visas, finding a place, how we decided on Thailand, all of the answers to the things that you all want questions to the most. We will be sharing there over on our Patreon, patreon.com/themeditationfamily. So make sure you click the link in the description so that you can subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.